Going on, y'all? It's confession time. You know why? Because I realize that if I fail to share certain aspects of my life, when I share so many other aspects of my life on the old social media, and I make it look a certain kind of way, but I don't share the flip side, that is a lie. And one of the things, maybe the thing that I hate the most in the entire world is liars. I hate them. If I may quote the great philosopher and my spirit animal, 50 Cent, I hate a liar more than I hate a thief. A thief is only after my salary. A liar is after my reality. That is from I'm a Hustler off Power of a Dollar from before he got shot, right? Now, I've been bumping that thing since I was 13 years old. What have I been lying about, right? Because we look at my perfectly manicured social media presence. What do we see? We see insanely fit dude. We see insanely motivational, rah, 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 so disciplined. Bro, I am not disciplined like 99% of the time, it feels like. And I'm not comparing myself to anybody except for me, for the standard, for the expectation that I have for myself. I'm so foolish, it makes me sick. But then on the flip side, I look at stuff that I've done and some habits that I continue to have. And I'm like, I'm proud of those. And that balances this out. But I'm foolish because I've been smoking. I'm a smoker. All right, let's just be real. Let's call it what it is. I have been smoking almost every single day for at least 10 years, at least since 2014. I straight up inhale cigars. Okay. That's not why my voice is all wrecked. My voice is all wrecked because I did an exercise today and I absolutely, how do the kids say it? I absolutely yeeted this. I needed to get some shot. I needed to try some shot and I liked it. I smoke all the time. I have not drank a single drop of alcohol in 8 years, but damned if I don't go through phases where I absolutely lobotomize myself with marijuana. I also go through phases where I take loads of Adderall. And I feel guilty about it sometimes. I didn't used to. And then I was like, when I realized how much I was taking and how little I was doing productively while taking it, just disgusting. Like going from taking 5 milligrams and being like, oh, whoa, I'm locked in to like, bang out some marketing stuff to then taking 10 times that over the course of a day just to like what? Wander around, smoke some weed, get tan, meditate, read some spirituals, tell myself that I'm doing something just because it feels good. Like ridiculous. Ridiculous conduct. It's not even conduct that you can really judge, but the conduct that's condemnation worthy, where I feel like I have to get out there, is the fact that that is all happening concurrently. It's not really driving many of these posts because the sad fact of the matter is when I'm in those zones, like I'm not producing. The production comes from when that's not there. We'll keep going. I guess it's not what the kids are saying, but it's like, what are the rappers saying? What are the influencers saying? We could go bar for bar. We could go band for band or whatever it is. Yeah, let's go band for band here with myself and how foolish I am. I love talking about how proud I am of myself for getting out of my marriage, for leaving my marriage, to make this choice to leave my marriage. But the truth of the matter is I signed my divorce papers yesterday that I didn't want to. I was really scared. And I was really sad to sign them. I totally forgive my now ex-wife. I totally forgive her. And I don't even really think I think I was the problem. I think I would have done the same thing. I didn't quit drinking to be more fit because I figured that out. Look, I have figured something out. And that is being absolutely stacked fitness-wise and strong and useful. Totally natty. I didn't quit drinking because of fitness. I got ripped. I was ripped as shit and I was drinking my ass off. I quit drinking because I didn't want to cheat on this woman who I knew was going to become my wife. That's why I quit drinking. It had nothing to do with really anything else. And I was drinking like a madman. I was drinking like daily. Basically from the time that I quit, September 26th, or whenever the Trump-Hillary debate was. Because I was like, what'll get you over to my house again? It's just any reason that we could hang out. Because I didn't have the confidence then to just be like, hey, let's hang out. We had a really great first day. Let's go do something fun and hang for our second date. I was like, come watch the debate. I was like, I don't give a shit about politics. I still don't give a shit about politics because all politicians are liars. They're all liars who have accomplished nothing and they espouse and live by none of the values that I care about. So whenever that was the last time I drank. But before then I was having like at least 1 to 2 drinks a day. And it took me a long time to get to that point because I was just drinking to blackout prior to that. I half-assed so much in my life. I've been half-assing my entire life. I have this pattern where I somehow get into some awesome opportunity. And I get a little bit of proof of concept of like, oh, what I'm doing is good. And then I will either back out of that opportunity and forget about it entirely because I'm like, I learned what I need to learn, moving on. Or I'll just coast sometimes. And then I feel like that's true. But then if I look at the evidence of that, it's like, no, actually, dude, you work super hard sometimes. You go through periods of, not even periods, like you are generally pretty locked in, focused, but not only showing the parts of myself that are locked in and focused, whatever, without sharing this other part of like, dude, I sleep in. And sometimes it's not even because I stayed up super late. Sometimes I just hit snooze and I just stay in my bed because You know what? Sometimes it's not because I got stupidly stoned the night before. Sometimes it's because I feel depressed. I feel so depressed sometimes. I have this process, this emotionally prompted journaling process that's levels deeper than artist pages brain dump. And I wrote one the other day, like, I think it was like August 1st. I was like, I am deeply depressed. I think I am deeply depressed. Because I was looking at my life, I was just like, dude, what are you doing? Because on the one hand, all of this hard work has got me to this place where I make more money than my parents did. I have a better life than my parents were able to provide for me that I provide for myself. And I do not come from a wealthy family. I got full rides to school and I've gotten myself to this place in my life. On the one hand, it's like I built all this shit and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I'm so proud of myself. But then I reached this point where I'm like, I don't think I want anything else. And I've totally defined myself by my ambition, my ability to set and hit every single goal that I've ever set out to hit. I found myself in this place where it's like I unwound so much quote unquote trauma, so much of that kept me stuck, so much of the stuff that was eating me up, so much pain. I found myself in this place where I was like, I'm not in any pain anymore. I'm not in any pain. And I lived this life that I can't believe, that I never thought that I was going to have. I broke out of the cult of opera, out of the opera industrial complex, mentally and career-wise at 30. I broke free and I set myself free beyond that. I was really struggling. I think this is part of what was underneath this latest phase of basically pseudo depression. And what I realized today was that you're not free of pain. You're just not willing to look deeper. You're not willing to pull it back. And it's like, what's really under there? What makes you sick to your stomach to admit? What makes you sick to your stomach to admit? What brings tears to your eyes to even say when you don't normally cry at all? I didn't cry when I found out that my dad died, but I cried when I started talking about the deep, which is basically somebody had said the word betrayal, and all I could think of was my entire life growing up, how all I experienced was nothing but betrayal from every single adult figure in my life, except my mother. Fucking rocks. Nothing but betrayal and intense, brutal emotional abuse from the time that I was like 7 years old, from everybody, school teachers, administrators, uncles. And in the world of singing, there's this pedestal of technique or this ideal of technique that takes its name from the art world, chiaroscuro, light and darkness. I only show light, but I show fake light. I don't show darkness. I don't talk about it. I don't know why. Because the only way that, at least that I can imagine from what I know, the only way that I was able to do all of the stuff that I feel proud of is by tapping into unbelievable darkness and letting that be my fuel. That's the reason that I look the way that I look. It's the reason that I sound the way that I sound. The reason why I do everything that I do. A gigantic defense mechanism. Turn myself into a weapon to protect myself, make sure that that never happens again and that I never have to feel powerless. And then now, once that I have transcended, released, gotten through all of that, the only purpose is to teach others to do the same thing and to, if possible, become useful and stand up for them when they cannot, in whatever way my skills allow for me to do. But speaking of lies, there's still lies, because up until today, hey, thank you, leave that light on. Up until today, I wasn't really willing to look at that, to dig deeper. And I'm pissed. As to how easily we accept lies, how easily we don't critically think, how little we will hold the people who lie to us accountable, how little we will hold ourselves accountable for accepting the realities that our lack of courage, for whatever reason, the mess that that creates for ourselves. I'm pissed at that. I'm pissed when I see dudes complacent, lying down, accepting, not grabbing life by the rope. Because that energy to hit, to smash, to pummel is in every single one of us. I don't know what life is like or what the inner world is like for women, but I know that for men, this is true. And it's not unhealthy because it's part of who we are. You just need to find a healthy outlet for it. You need to find a healthy channel for it. And if you deny your emotions, if you think that they don't matter or are girly or whatever, you will become so constipated, so toxic internally that you will destroy your life and you will destroy the lives of everyone around you. Ask me how I know. It's a miracle that I made it this far. It's a miracle that I'm alive. The amount of times that I have almost died just from purely alcohol poisoning alone because I was ignoring and stuffing all this down. Too many to count. Too many to count. You need to grab life by the throat. You need to grab yourself by the throat and say, what are you doing? Wake up. Wake the fuck up. What do you want? What do you feel? What do you have to say to yourself? Why are you so ashamed how you've been, of who you are, of who you want to be? Somebody said something that really struck me. My friend Tier, he said, when you pull punches, you only create a war within yourself. And when I say I've half-assed, what I really mean to say, I suppose, and thank you, Tier, is I've been pulling punches for my whole life, and it's created a gigantic war within myself. And I thought that boxing match was over, or not over, not over at all. So what does this look like? Not pulling punches anymore. Everybody likes to talk about doing the work, because I screamed I don't have my full is not meeting right now. The CT edge of the full is not meeting. Do the work. That's a nice platitude. The work is very painful. The work is very painful. It was very rewarding. I like pain. I like hard. So I like that. The other hard part of the work is to do it consistently every single day. Luckily, I've been able to. Not luckily. It wasn't luck. I was in pain, so I grabbed my nuts and I did it. One thing I was able to do pretty consistently, train 6 days a week for 60 minutes and eat right. Doing the work is an every single day thing, which means that every single day you have to dig in this deep to find this part of yourself and go to war with it. Look it straight in the face. This is what it means. If you look into the abyss stares back. And it's only through going there that you get free. And I want total freedom. I want total freedom because on the other side of total freedom, I'm going to be that much closer, that much clearer, that much more who the fuck I am. And I'll also have less turmoil. And maybe by that time, I'll know how to conduct myself better when I'm free of turmoil. Because I had no idea what I was doing with it. I had no idea recently. Your mind plays tricks on you constantly. You're probably not free of turmoil. You're probably not free of wants and desires. You're just not looking hard enough because that seed of complacency, that seed of laziness is still there. It's just tricking you that it's not. Your mind, it's there. I will let you know what's on the other side of it. I will keep you posted more on this journey because that's an element of doing the work that I haven't been doing. I've been disgustingly inconsistent about documenting what's going on. The only reason that that's important to me is because I have been one of my major internal struggles has been not documenting my life because I've been called to do that since like 2013. All I've wanted to do since 2013 was just document what I was learning and how I was growing and connecting these dots because I have wanted nothing but to live a life of simplicity and discipline for over 10 years. I've been clear on that. So the lesson here is that there is no light without darkness. Darkness came first. The light shined in the darkness and the darkness comprehended it not. But only showing light and this fake surface light at that, that's way too weak of a light to cut through the darkness, to be so incomprehensible to the darkness. That's a light that the darkness swallows. And that's not going to the death. And I like to go to the death. You know what they don't show on the Titan games because it's TV. Was I lost really early on. I dropped 20 feet from that scaffolding or the fence or whatever it was, and I just climbed right back up there. Caleb had already won, and I just kept going. My body would give out over and over again, and I would drop. The Rock is right below me, cheering me on. Caleb is cheering me on, and I'm like, dude, I'm going to go until my body breaks. I've never worked so hard in my entire life. Never been so sore, never been so battered. I was beaten up after that. To the death. The only way to not burn out in this game, in this quest, is to tap into that fire every single day. That's what it means to get leverage on yourself and stay plugged into it so that you can punch life in the face every single day. Grab it by the throat. Get leverage on yourself and build and do what you are called to do. What you are called to do is not going to be this nice, pleasant journey of roses and puppies and whatever. It's going to be painful. So toughen up. Buckle up, Buttercup. Wait, is it going to be type 2 fun? Look up type 2 fun. It's the kind that you look back on and you're like, oh, that sucked, but that was kind of fun. I kind of miss that. So here's my proposal to you. Where are you showing fake light? Where is your light weak? What deep darkness are you not looking at? What are you afraid to look at in yourself? What are you afraid to admit to yourself? What's it all telling you to do? Because you plug into that and you will ignite a fire that will create such a beam of unignorable, unbelievably powerful light. The light that illuminates the entire darkness, the light that the darkness cannot comprehend. And that's what keeps you from engulfing yourself and everyone that you love and care about, everything that you've ever worked hard to build in that darkness, drowning and suffocating everything good in your life out. You have to ignite that fire that burns so bright that there is no darkness left. So if you want help looking for it, if you want help lighting that fire, getting it burning bright, pointing it around in the darkness, feeling less alone, hit me up. That is what I do. That is the purpose of everything that I have created, everything that I've built myself to be. Let's go to war. Shoot me a DM.